The first is why go after so many? Quite often you'll hear of business owners where they do one business for a while, maybe after enough they'll grow it, then sell it, move on to the
Right.
second or third. But you have bought, sold, moved on to so many different places, and they're not all connected. Like to your point earlier,
Right.
they're different industries, they're completely different sides of the map.
So
Why have that variety?
I don't want to bore you with Joe's lifelong story from the beginning, but I own the largest closed market environment restaurant concept in the Southeast. So I had a good start with a lot of small. I tell people, don't be impressed by the amount, right? It was well over 45 or 50 small sandwich shops inside office buildings, probably another 10 to 20 convenience stores inside office buildings. So these are closed market environments. Now, I had some really large cafeterias. I mean, 700, 1,200 people a day we would serve. Frito-Lay Packing Plant, Jordan Graphics, Schneider Trucking, I'm going to show my age, Nations Bank Processing Center. That's back where they used to process checks, right? They don't do that anymore. But that was a building that had about 5,000 people in it at the time. It was a Gateway Center in downtown Charlotte. So I had a lot of large restaurants, but many small.
Yep.
So I had a good start to that number of 400, right?
Sure.
I end up selling all of those businesses one by one, probably 75% of them. I sold to the managers, taught them how to own and operate their businesses. In some cases, I had to teach them how to write a check and open up a checking account. And so when it was over with, I had created this informal franchise, right? If the rent was $200 a month, I might charge them $250 because I'm going to help them and oversee it, you know. Plus, I'd finance the sale. And so I did that. And when that was over, I realized it took me about 3 years to do that because it was in multiple states, Jacksonville and Tennessee as well. And so it took me about 2.5, 3 years to sell all those. And when it was over with, I realized I was pretty proficient at buying and selling businesses.
Right.
So I just started doing more of that. And I tell people I've owned a small capital investment firm for years, way before there was this cool name for it, right?
Right.
I thought I was just helping you get in business,
Yeah.
take a piece on the way in and give you some advice, and then take a piece on the way out, you know.
Right.
And so that's why there were so many of them. It wasn't that I was the only person operating these businesses. A lot of times I was helping you get in the finance business, right? I'll help you. I'll fund it. I may even find you a partner. May even find you some family members of yours that are interested in partnering with you for a period of time, help you put together the operating agreement, and then I'll just take a piece of that deal. And so I can do a lot of those deals in a lot of different industries because I'm not the one running it day to day.
So that's a really great point because so many business owners will corner themselves and they become the keystone in the business, right? Everything flows through them.
Yeah.
They can't ever miss a day. They can't ever transition out because they are the glue for the business. And you structured this in a way to where you had people running the day-to-day operations and you were overseeing. So then when you were transitioning out, you had people to hand it off to.
Yeah.
You didn't have to offload all of your work for years and years.
Let me tell you the secret of business. It's not cash. It's control. You don't need all the cash to be in control. You don't need to have all the ownership to be in control. I can create an operating agreement where you own 92% and I own 8%, but you have to put a budget together that I approve. And so
Right.
guess who's in control?
That's right. Yeah.
Or at least I get some say.
Yeah.
With 8% ownership, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so it's that type of control. I teach people that in real estate all the time. You know, I tell people one of the it's been a hobby of mine for years is real estate's just been something that I've enjoyed for years. And I learned land contracts and contract for deeds years ago, right? Well, that mortgage is in somebody else's name, right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
That property actually may not be mine, but I get to decide who's going to be the next owner and the spread between the buy and the sell. And the same thing with a business as well. So control is really what you're after, and that's the operating agreement that you really want to take in consideration, which is why I was able to own and operate so many different businesses because I had the skill of somebody else that really knows the industry.
Yeah. Yeah.